Senator Brown, whenever you're ready, buddy. The reason why I say that, if there's witnesses here to testify in favor of an opposition, please keep your comments as quickly as possible because we may have to start limiting it.
Thank you. For the record, my name is Ben Brown, Senator for the 26th District, and I'd like to thank the committee for the opportunity to present Senate Bill 911. This bill is aimed at protecting small businesses involved with the sale of tobacco products. As with other small businesses, owners take on risk and invest a great deal of time and energy and financial resources to start and build a company. This bill would create a general state preemption on the restriction of these businesses by local governments. Many companies have to market their products across the state, and this bill would provide them with a much needed level of consistency, uniformity, and predictability across the board. Most importantly, it would help small business owners that are currently seeing their business values diminish due to unfair ordinances that have the potential to make it impossible to sell to a potential buyer. An example of this is in 2019, the St. Louis County Council amended its tobacco licensing ordinance that placed new limitations restricting retailers in certain locations from obtaining a tobacco license. Though it grandfathered in existing tobacco licenses, the ordinance specifically states that when an impacted retailer wants to sell their convenience store, gas station, vape shop, etc., the right to a license would not transfer over, essentially meaning that the buyer would not be able to obtain a tobacco license of their own. And when approached about this issue, I couldn't help reflecting upon my own experience as a small business owner. I purchased my restaurant at 28 years old and worked year after year in the early years, putting in often over 80 hours a week to grow my business's sales and increase its value. For the 6 years I owned the business prior to the pandemic, through a whole lot of late hours and hard work, I was able to grow the sales by 10% or more every year and had more than doubled its value. What's happening to these retailers is no different than if a local government came in and said that anyone I sold my restaurant to would not be able to obtain a liquor license. What do you think would happen to my business's value at that point? 6 years of work growing this business would be essentially erased. The value of my business, an asset that for years I worked tirelessly to grow, would be demolished. A business is an asset just like any piece of real estate or any other. When one purchases an asset, works night and day in hopes that one day selling it for a profit, it's not right for the government to come in and undercut them, destroying something that they may have spent decades building, something they may have been relying upon for retirement or to provide for their family. Small businesses are already dealing with record levels of inflation, labor shortages, and other unprecedented challenges. Government should not be coming in and creating additional obstacles and actively working against small business owners. Thank you. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Senator Brown. Is there any questions from Senator Rehder? First witness testify in favor of the bill, come forward.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and member of the committee. My name is Jake Silverman. I am the registered lobbyist for Missouri Smoke Free. Missouri Smoke Free is a group and organization of vape stores throughout the state and small business owners. When municipalities come in and try to adopt ordinances that, such as flavor bans and things like that, it can be detrimental to vape shops across the state. A vape shop, usually a lot of their products that have flavor, it's about 95% of their products. So if you do something like a flavor ban, it could be absolutely detrimental to their business, and we're just making sure that that we stop that before it happens. So we are in favor of Senate Bill 911, and we appreciate the senator for sponsoring it.
Thank you. Any questions for the witness? Seeing none, next witness testify in favor of. How many witnesses do we have to testify in favor of the bill? How many in opposition? Ooh, somebody didn't like your bill. Go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Hang on 1 second.
Sure.
We got a quorum. We're going to go ahead and take. Actually, please call the roll for the Committee on Emerging Issues.
Senator Brown.
Here.
Senator Moon. Senator Gannon. Here. Senator Koenig. Senator McCreary. Senator Rehder. Here. Senator Schwartz. Here. We have quorum.
We have quorum. Go ahead, Ron.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. My name is Ron Leone. I'm the Executive Director for the Missouri Petroleum and Convenience Association. I know time is tight today, Mr. Chairman. I think the sponsor's done an excellent job of outlining the bill. My testimony will be focused on subsection 2 of the bill, which really tries to cure a problem we're having in St. Louis County. St. Louis County passed an ordinance in 2019 which essentially grandfathered all existing tobacco licensees. But if you are located within 1,000 feet of a school or a daycare, when you sell your business, the new owner will not be granted a tobacco license. And what that does is that it really reduces the value of that convenience store, or vape shop, or tobacco shop by a half or more, because literally one of the things that they sell will not be allowed after that fact. When the ordinance was passed by St. Louis County, Mr. Chairman, they thought it just impacted a small number of shops, and it does not. They thought it was 10. It's actually about 167 locations. And so I wanted the committee to know that a similar but not identical bill is in the House. It's been voted out of committee already, Representative Christ. It addresses some of these concerns. We've taken care of some of the issues you'll probably hear in opposition today. But my last thought, Mr. Chairman, before I open up to any questions, is that you're going to hear a lot of opposition testimony today that makes it seem as if this bill is designed to allow us to sell tobacco to minors, which is completely nonsense. And it's really offensive to my members, Mr. Chairman, who are striving to do their best to comply with all laws and pursue the American dream. So hopefully we can stay on point here and focus on the issue, which is the reduction in the value of the business as a result of the ordinance. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions for the witness? Seeing none, next witness testify in favor of.
Good morning, Senators. I'm David Clarich, today appearing in favor of this legislation on behalf of the city of Eureka in southwest St. Louis County. To Mr. Leone's point, we are in a unique geographic situation in southwest St. Louis County because we are the entranceway from the state on Highway 44. It's a destination city with Six Flags. We have convenience stores and gas stations in the city of Eureka, but because of the way that the state law currently reads and its permissiveness to allow St. Louis County to impose this 1,000-foot rule that you just heard about, it prohibits us from locating or relocating a new convenience or gas station within 1,000 feet. Now, it's not just schools, it's with daycares and other things. That would be prohibitive of for us to actually cite a new convenience store in an existing location should that license no longer be in effect, or cite a new one if necessary. That would be disastrous for us because the closest convenience or gas station would be then in Valley Park, 15, 20 minutes away east of Eureka, or 15, 20 minutes north and up in the city of Wildwood. That would be impossible for us. What we're asking for is relief. We'd like to have some relief to allow the local community to determine and make sure that they're enforcing that we wouldn't be selling to minors. We want to make sure that that we are able to have our economic development protected. So, Senator, I appreciate your introducing this legislation. Be happy to answer any questions the committee might have.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the witness? All right. Seeing none, next witness testify in favor of.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Sam Licklider for the American Cigar Association. We support the bill.
Any questions for the witness?
You said make it short.
Senator Short.
Did you say there's a cigar association?
Yeah. I carried this bill a couple of times, and I didn't realize that till then.
It might have been the handler at that time.
Well, exactly.
I've kind of kept it low-key. There are a lot of questions they're always asking me, and the FDA has prohibited sampling, so there you go.
All right, thank you.
Well, as a partaker in Marlboros by the dozens a day, I wholeheartedly support this legislation. Next witness in favor of.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Ray McCarty, President of Associated Industries of Missouri, want to go on record in support of this legislation as well, because we do believe that preempting local ordinances instead of having a patchwork quilt of regulation is the way to go. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for the witness? Seeing none. Next witness testify in favor of.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Andy Arnold here on behalf of Hub Incorporated. We're the largest family-owned, Missouri-based licensed tobacco wholesaler in the state, and this would be detrimental to our business. It would help our business, not be detrimental. Excuse me.
Any questions for the
Thinking
witness?
about the next bill.
Well, you got to have a good lighter to go with good cigarettes. Next witness testify in favor of.
Very briefly, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, David Overfeld on behalf of the Missouri Retailers and the Missouri Grocers Association for Senate Bill 911.
Thank you. Any questions for the witness? Seeing none, are there any other witnesses testifying in favor of?
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Ethan Thampy, registered lobbyist with Vapor Maven and Studio 420. Between these two companies and their subsidiaries, that represents close to 100 stores in the state, several hundred jobs that this bill would protect. Thank you for your consideration of this bill.
Any questions for the witness? Seeing none, are there any other witnesses testify in favor of?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Heath Clarkston. I'm registered lobbyist for Come and Go convenience stores, primarily in Southwest Missouri, 70-plus stores. The reason we're testifying in support is we believe this should be a statewide decision, and it should be uniform across the state because we have locations in different jurisdictions and different counties, and it's much easier to train and retain employees to know what the rules are if they're all standardized. So that's why we're in support.
Any questions for the witness? Seeing none, are there any other witnesses testify in favor of? First witness testify in opposition to, whenever you're ready.
Good morning. I'm Katie Towns. I'm the director of the Springfield Greene County Health Department, and I'm here on behalf of the City of Springfield as well as Missouri Local Public Health Association. Just want to comment on the fact that we passed a local ordinance back in 2018, and that was in response to youth initiating and having a high rate of 6th through 12th graders who are using tobacco. We have had a significant decrease in that amount, and I'm not saying retailers are selling on purpose, but they are accessing tobacco. And in order to not only address the retail situation, we also have a comprehensive education campaign at our school district that has helped us as well. And we do offer some additional enforcement capability to provide that education within the retailers. So we would just ask that this not prevent us from maintaining our current approach to dealing with a youth tobacco problem.
Thank you for your testimony. Are there any questions for the witness? And I'll remind the witnesses to please leave a witness form so your testimony can go into public record. Next witness testify in opposition.
Good morning, Chair Brown and committee members. My name is Dr. Ed Kramer. I'm a family physician from Lee Summit and a member of the Missouri Academy of Family Physicians. You will see a lot of us in our white coats wandering around the Capitol today, advocating for our patients and the citizens of Missouri. I'm a former co-chair of the Lee Summit Health Education Advisory Board and current member of the Lee Summit Wellness Commission. And I want to speak today primarily from my Lee Summit experience. Through the years, Lee Summit has been active in protecting its citizens from the health effects of secondhand smoke, as well as helping prevent our young people from starting to smoke or to vape in the first place. In 2016, I think the year was, the city of Lee Summit passed a Tobacco 21 ordinance raising minimum age to purchase tobacco products, alternative nicotine products, or vapor products to 21. The ordinance also made it illegal to sell these products to anyone under 21. There were many reasons for doing this. Allow me to quote one reason directly from that Lee Summit ordinance. The city of Lee Summit recognizes that the use of tobacco products has devastating health consequences and that young people are particularly susceptible to the addictive properties of tobacco products and are particularly likely to become lifelong users. Prior to and since 2016, many other communities in the Kansas City metro and certainly around the state of Missouri have also passed similar ordinances. Senate Bill 911 removes, in the words of the bill, shall supersede local ordinance regulation of tobacco purchases. This bill is a direct threat to local efforts to address underage tobacco use and vaping within our own communities and the devastating health consequences of such use. I appreciate the opportunity to speak today. I'm happy to address any questions.
Thank you for your testimony. Are there any questions for a witness? All right, seeing none, next witness testify in opposition to.
Emily Kalmer, American Cancer Society, Cancer Action Network. Thank you for the opportunity to express our concerns with Senate Bill 911. We advocate for public policies at all levels of government to work to prevent cancer, and that includes the local level. For instance, we've advocated for local smoke-free laws and ordinances that are proven policies that have contributed to the overall reduction in cancer deaths in recent years. So numerous communities in Missouri have already worked on ordinances to address local tobacco use. And we want them to have the ability to continue to pass these life-saving measures. Many more communities are considering things like this. And we know from tobacco industry documentation that preemption of local authority is one of their number one ways of combating the efforts to prevent cancer through the sale of tobacco. So let's be clear, the language in this bill does preempt existing ordinances that Missouri municipalities and governments have passed and would prevent the passage of future legislation. So for these reasons, given that Missouri continues to trail the country in adoption of proven tobacco policies, we as an organization oppose efforts to preempt local ability. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Are there any questions for the witness? Seeing none, next witness to testify in opposition to.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Trent Watson, registered lobbyist here on behalf of the American Heart Association. Wanted to register our opposition to this legislation. As the sponsor stated, the bill has two parts. The first part is preemption of any local ordinance. As Emily just stated before me, most tobacco laws are enforced at the local level, not at the state level. So this would basically deregulate that portion of the tobacco industry. The second part of it is really a local issue in St. Louis County dealing with the licensure issue. I believe the legislature last year, or the county council had passed an ordinance to grandfather in those that were in that 1,000-foot area of a school. County Executive Page did veto that bill. So that's still a local issue still being played out. I would urge you to let that play out at the local issue before the state steps in and corrects that. I'll be happy to try to answer your questions.
Thank you for your testimony. Any other questions for the witness? Seeing none, next witness to
Mr. Chairman, I did also submit testimony for the Missouri State Medical Association online.
All
Thank
right.
you.
It will be noted in the record. Next witness, testify in opposition to.
Good morning, Katie Gamble here on behalf of the Missouri Center for Public Health Excellence. Want to go on record in opposition, especially to the first part where it's just the blanket preemption.
Any questions for the witness? Seeing none, next witness to testify in opposition to, please come forward.
Excuse me. Good morning. My name is Stan Cowan. I'm a private citizen now, but I've retired after 45 years in public health. First 33 with the State Health Department and the last 12 with the University of Missouri School of Medicine, Department of Community and Family Medicine. Last 18 years or so total working on tobacco issues. And youth vaping is a serious problem in Missouri, according to Governor Parson, who in December of 2019 stated, and I quote, "One of the most important responsibilities I have as governor is to protect the health and well-being of our future generations. Vaping is truly an epidemic among our youth, and we must take action now to educate them about the potential risk of these products. And he noted at that time that there was a 17% violation rate of retailers selling to underage youth. And historically, Missouri has had retailer violation rates significantly higher than the national average. Youth vaping is a serious problem in Missouri, according to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. Their data for retailer compliance checks show Missouri retailers have a violation rate of 16.3% selling to underage youth, where the national average is a little over 11%. It's a serious problem in Missouri, according to the Youth Risk Behavior Survey data, in which the latest data show youth use of any tobacco or vapor product within the past 30 days to be 21% for Missouri, while the national average is 18%. And it's a serious problem in Missouri, according to the inaugural FDA citations issued in January of 2024 against 21 retailers that, after being duly warned to stop the sale of illegal, youth-appealing e-cigarettes, of these 21 retailers, 6 were located in Missouri. Now, Missouri comprises less than 2% of the U.S. population, but we accounted for nearly 29% of this recent enforcement action. What's going on? Why are rates in Missouri so much higher? If legislators that truly want to see this tobacco and vaping epidemic diminish among our young people, we should support meaningful legislation such as House Bill 2372, and also support, not hinder, local government efforts to protect their community's young people from accessing these unhealthy and highly addictive products from unscrupulous retailers. We have seen states that realize lower youth tobacco and vape rates. I guess you got 2 ears, you can hear two conversations at once. Okay. Senate Bill 911 would completely eliminate at least 30 local Tobacco 21 ordinances for a total community's population over 2.5 million, nearly half the state's population. The industry has made it clear they want to gut local authority, as they know this would result in fewer compliance checks and less enforcement. In turn, this will minimize the risk of consequences for retailers selling to youth, which will not only contribute to youth addiction, but will impact the incidence of preventable chronic disease and premature death, as well as continued drain on the state's Medicare budget. Now, mention was made of a St. Louis County ordinance. Earlier I said Missouri retailers had a violation rate of 16.3% selling to youth. It is noted in a St. Louis Post-Dispatch story that the retailers that were lobbying the county council to repeal that ordinance, that they all were selling to underage youth. And they have a rate here that more than 40% of those near schools had been cited in the past 4 years for underage sales. Please, for the sake of our youth, oppose this bill.
Thank you for your testimony. Are there any questions for the witness? Thank you. Are there any other witnesses testify in opposition to? Any witnesses testify for informational purposes only? Come on up.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. My name is Richard Sheets. I'm the Executive Director of the Missouri Municipal League, and we would like to testify for informational purpose for Senate Bill 911. I've talked to the speaker, the sponsor, and some of the proponents of this legislation, and it's clear that the intent is not to prevent local governments, cities, to enforce their ordinances on selling to minors. And I believe that the wording in 911 would prevent cities to enforce their ordinance on minor sales to minors. There's a similar bill in the House, and I've worked with the sponsor and others in the House to correct that language, and would like to correct that language in this bill to ensure that cities can enforce their ordinances on the sale of tobacco products to minors. I'll try to answer any questions if I can.
Thank you for your testimony. Are there any questions for the witness? Seeing none, are there any other witnesses testify for informational purposes only? All right. Senator Brown, do you have any closing comments?
I'll just state, because it seemed like this is where a lot of the opposition stemmed from. It's not the intent to undermine local 21 laws, and I am certainly open to having a conversation about tweaking the language to ensure that it doesn't have that effect, or even having conversations about what we could do potentially at the state level. And also a point was made that Missouri is lagging behind a lot of other states in terms of a lot of these metrics. So what we have now in place clearly isn't working. This patchwork of inconsistent laws, city by city, county by county. I would argue that if we had more of a cohesive, consistent strategy and approach on this, that perhaps Missouri wouldn't be lagging behind.
Well, and I'll add to that, if you don't want your kids smoking, pay attention to your kids. This is a parent problem to me, and I wholeheartedly support your bill. So thank you for presenting it today.
Thank you.
Senator Gannon, would you like to preside over the hearing while I present my bills? You don't have to move.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. We are going to hear Senate Bill 850 from Senator Brown. You may begin when you're ready.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee, for allowing me to present this bill today. For the record, I'm Senator Justin Brown, representing the 16th District. Anybody that supported the last bill, you're going to love this one. Senate Bill 850 requires lighters to meet American Society for Testing Material Standards and bans counterfeit novelty lighters. These are well-established safety standards developed in the early 1970s that address important safety features like flame height warnings and the temperatures, drop heights that a lighter can withstand. However, these standards are voluntary and are currently followed by all the U.S. lighter companies in the U.S. lighter industry. Many of these lighters imported into the U.S. from Asian countries are cheap knockoffs of U.S. brand lighters and do not meet the safety standards. This creates an unsafe market for consumers. Senate Bill 850 is about lighter safety, and this bill would bring Missouri in line with 18 other states who have passed this type of legislation. So I like to refer to this bill as Make Lighters Great Again in this country. And if you support the USA, you have to support this bill. Thank you. I will entertain any questions.
Any questions from the committee? Senator Moon.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Senator, you probably answered my question on what prompted the bill. But have there been any reports about harm done due to unsafe lighters?
There has, and I have a few witnesses behind me that could answer those specific incidences. But yes.
Okay, I'll hold other questions for the witnesses. Thank you.
Any other questions from the committee? Seeing none. First witness in support of the bill.
Hello, members of the committee. Thank you to Senator Brown for filing this bill. My name is Beth Seals, and I'm here on behalf of Zippo Manufacturing Company and also the U.S. Lighter Association. I've been general counsel of Zippo since 2016, and I'm the vice president and I'm a member of the board of directors of the U.S. Lighter Association, which has all of the U.S. lighter companies as members, including Zippo, BIC, and many other companies. I'm also a member of the committee that develops safety standards for lighters for ASTM, and I'm also an employee of Zippo that works and resides here in Missouri in St. Charles County. Zippo is most famous for its windproof lighter. We've been manufacturing in the U.S. for over 90 years. Every lighter that's sold globally is made right here in the U.S. Senate Bill 850 seeks to resolve a problem that we're observing in the marketplace, and that is unsafe lighters. This creates a public safety issue for consumers. Unsafe lighters can cause burns and significant injuries. This also creates a problem for retailers who find themselves liable when they buy lighters that they simply don't know are unsafe because they don't meet safety standards. all of the companies here in the U.S. that belong to the association, we spend a lot of resources to make sure that our products are meeting or exceeding safety standards. But the fact is that there's a lot of imports, mostly from Asia, that simply do not meet these safety standards, and they create significant issues. They have large flame heights. People have been injured by this. There was one gentleman that lit his lighter, put it in his pocket, and it didn't extinguish, and he experienced significant burns. There's lots of examples of this. But there's nothing to stop these Asian imports from being sold in the marketplace. Right now, there's no federal law that requires these safety standards to be mandatory. They're just voluntary. We're trying to fix this problem at the state level, and over almost 20 states so far have imposed lighter safety laws. So again, not only would this bill require safety standards to be mandatory, it also gives a private right of action to retailers, including convenience stores and small businesses, and consumers to sue the suppliers if they get sued themselves for any injuries. Right. Currently, they'd have to rely only on contracts or indemnities, which may or may not exist. This bill would give them a private right of action to have their own remedy. This bill is not about eliminating market competition for Zippo. Unsafe lighters are not our competition. We sell semi-luxury lighters that people use for collectibles and to give as gifts and showcase in their house. Unsafe lighters, banning them is not going to increase our market share. It's about lighter safety and about keeping the market safe for consumers and for retailers as well. We support similar legislation in many other states, and Connecticut just passed the same law last year, and we currently have legislation in Wisconsin and Colorado. Neighboring states in Missouri have passed lighter safety bills as well. So again, thank you for listening to me today, and I'm very happy to answer any questions. Oh, and by the way, last year this bill did pass this committee unanimously, so I'm hoping for your support today as well.
Any questions from the committee? Senator Moon.
Thank you. You mentioned Missouri had passed lighter safety bills. Is that right?
No, Missouri has not.
Oh, I thought you said Missouri.
Other
Okay.
states, yeah.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
So this report you had of the person who had a lighter not extinguished in his pocket, you said it wasn't extinguished. Did he extinguish it before he put it in his pocket?
Well, the ASTM standards require disposable lighters to be self-extinguishing. This lighter he had was not, so it
But he
didn't.
put it in his pocket anyway?
I guess by accident, yeah.
Okay. So is that a lighter problem or a human error?
I would say it's both. I mean, I think lighters, there's these well-established safety standards that have been created for decades now to ensure that lighters do meet certain standards, just like there is for many industries, many products.
Well, I guess in total, it looks like it may be a consumer problem. And the consumers, if they have the choice, they should pay attention to which lighter they're pulling off to buy. Let them make the choice. It seems like it's just a free market issue, but thank you for your information.
Okay. Any other questions from the committee? Seeing none, first witness in support. Make sure you fill out a witness form and leave it on the table.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, Ray McCarty, President of Associated Industries in Missouri, want to go on record in support of this legislation. We have a problem as manufacturers in Missouri and in America with competition from foreign manufacturers that don't observe the same laws that we have here in the states, but they compete with these products, and very often it's hard to tell the difference between them. So we are in support of anything that helps reduce the number of counterfeit products in the state, and we support this bill. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the committee? Seeing none, next in support. Seeing none, the first witness in opposition. Fill out a witness form, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning. Again, for the record, my name is Ron Leone. I'm the Executive Director for the Missouri Petroleum and Convenience Association. I represent many of the gas stations, convenience stores, and truck stops in your districts. I rise today, Madam Chair, respectfully to oppose the Chairman's bill, and we do it primarily for four reasons. The first and foremost, I think you're kind of getting that from some of the proponents, is that we believe this legislation is a solution in search of a problem. It's simply not needed. Your constituents are not calling you, calling your office, reporting issues with lighters and requesting some sort of statewide legislative fix. I'm very much tied into my members as well as our national groups, and we're not seeing any broad issues with lighters in general that require some sort of legislative response. Number two, regardless what the last witness just said or the second from last witness, this absolutely picks winners and losers. Zippo Lighter Company has been the primary supporter of this legislation as well as the other legislation that they've passed in other states. It uses the power of government to benefit Zippo products and Zippo's business model. It unfairly picks winners and losers. It definitely reduces overall competition. And of course, it would allow Zippo to sell more of their lighters. Third reason, Madam Chair, it absolutely increases our litigation risk. It's a trial attorney's dream. It subjects Missouri's small businesses, my members, to an unfair and unnecessary litigation risk. If they inadvertently stock and sell these would-be newly designated unsafe lighters. The interesting thing about the bill is it has a provision in there, Madam Chair, that allows my members to inventory and to have these products in their store, or not in their stores, but in their back rooms. They just can't sell them. And the reason they have that language in there is I think they have some concerns with interstate commerce passing this legislation in Missouri. So literally we can have counterfeit lighters, we just can't sell counterfeit lighters. And I can just imagine one of your small business owners mistakenly put a counterfeit lighter, allegedly counterfeit lighter, on their shelves and then getting sued as a result. Lastly, Madam Chair, we think this is a federal issue. Last year when Zippo testified, they mentioned that they tried to do this at the federal level. They were unable to do it at the federal level, so they're taking a piecemeal approach. We think this should happen at the federal level, should be nationwide, set by Congress and not simply by Missouri. And again, that language in there dealing with the interstate commerce issue, I think clearly indicates that this is clear, that this is absolutely a federal issue that should be addressed by Congress. Again, I'm sorry that I have to come up and oppose the chairman's bill, but I have to do what I have to do, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the committee? Yes, Senator Moon.
Mr. Leone, I'll ask you the same question I asked another witness. Are you aware of any situations where harm was done that would require a bill like this?
I am not, Senator, and again, I don't have a problem with reasonable regulation that's actually fixing a legitimate problem out there. I've been doing this almost 25 years, and there are instances in which I'm actually advocating for some reasonable regulation. We just don't see the need for this, and therefore, when you start peeling back some of the layers, you wonder, who's actually supporting it and why. And I think that, again, sometimes the heavy hand of government can be used, and we're a little bit concerned about that.
Any other questions for the witness? Seeing none.
Thank you.
Next are we opposition still? Okay. Next in opposition.
Morning, Senator.
Next time I see you at the Grand.
You're buying. Morning, committee. My name is Andy Arnold. I'm here on behalf of Hub Incorporated. We are the largest family-owned Missouri licensed tobacco distributor in the state. We are located in 3 parts of Missouri. We provide Zippo lighters, we provide Cricket lighters, we provide Bic lighters, we provide any kind of lighter that a consumer wants, that a customer wants. I won't go any further on Mr. Leone's comments because he's dead on. This kind of reminds me of a bill that was filed a number of years ago on cold beer, saying we couldn't sell cold beer. That bill kind of died like a dog, and the senator along with it. But no offense. But seriously, we do sell everybody's products, and to say we can have a product in our warehouse that we can't sell to Missourians, but we can sell in Kansas and Oklahoma or a surrounding state, we think it's ridiculous. The other thing is we see this as a mandate, because if you don't meet that ASTM standard, you can't sell your product here. So you're mandating a private standard in the state statute. And we're just against mandates. I hate to tell you, that's where we are. Sorry.
Thank you. Any questions? Yes, Senator Shore.
Just briefly, what senator was that sponsored that bill on cold beer.
Last name had to be Alter, and he got it from a ninth grader.
And he died
The
after
idea.
sponsoring the bill?
Huh?
He died after sponsoring?
No, his reelection died, I guess is what I meant to say.
I didn't know if there was a hit out from a brewery somewhere.
No.
All right,
No.
just to clarify, thank you.
It basically said we couldn't sell cold beer in the state of Missouri.
Bad bill.
Yeah, we thought it was bad too.
Okay.
You think this
Any
is
other
bad, too?
questions from the committee? Seeing none, next witness in opposition. Seeing none, informational purposes only. Senator, do you have any final comments?
Well, I didn't, but after that. No. Thank you, Madam Chair, member of the committees, for allowing me to present this bill.
Okay. Okay. Senator Brown, second bill is Senate Bill 1353. Senator, you may begin.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. For the record, I am Senator Justin Brown, representing the 16th District. Today, I am here to present Senate Bill 1353. This bill streamlines a process in which counties can request jail reimbursement. This bill will no longer require the judge or prosecutor to sign off on that. This bill does not change the rate or the eligibility for payment. Basically just removes that layer to where a prosecutor or judge has to sign off on the request. So if there I have experts in the room to answer any questions that I cannot. I will entertain any questions at this point.
Any questions? Senator Moon.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Senator Brown, will this fix the current problem of reimbursement? Because some counties are, they have a huge amount of money they're expecting to be
Right.
reimbursed.
And as a member of the appropriations, this has been an ongoing problem and will continue to be. Right now, we're caught up with some of the ARPA money that we had to use. But this will help it because it streamlines the process to where it removes that layer, on the local level to where, if the counties are requesting a reimbursement, they're basically removing that layer between us and them.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Any other questions from the committee? Seeing none, first witness in support.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Trent Watson, registered lobbyist here on behalf of the Missouri Association of Counties. I want to go on record in support of this legislation. As the sponsor stated, this will streamline the process, help the counties basically get paid faster on the reimbursement rate. The Department of Corrections has spent a lot of time and effort to create an online system for the counties to use to help streamline, to help get those payments out the door faster. And this will help the counties get in line and use and partake of that online system. So I'm happy to support this legislation.
Any questions? Yes.
I
Senator?
don't know if you're the right person to ask or not. Why do we have the signature now? What was the purpose of that?
I think it was just verification of this person stayed in that many days in the county jail, and we had, the prosecutor signed on with the judge. Under this scenario, we're going to give the Department of Corrections everything they need to know to verify that that person was at the county jail that many days before they went over to cross the threshold into corrections. Like I said, it just streamlines the process. They'll cut a check faster.
Any other questions for the witness? Seeing none, next in support.
Madam Chair, David Winton here on behalf of St. Louis County. I want to go on record in support of the legislation. Appreciate the opportunity to do this. It will absolutely help us collect faster on the days that are out, and they are significant.
Any questions for the witness? Seeing none, next
Thank
in
you.
support.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, Fred Dreiling today representing Jackson County Legislature. Would like to go on record in support and thank the senator. We'd also like some help in the appropriation process because $22.58 is what we get reimbursed right now. The costs in Jackson County are over $120 per day. So we appreciate the senator, though. This is a good first step.
Any questions for the witness? Seeing none, next in support. Seeing none, first in opposition. Seeing none, informational purposes, only. Seeing none. Have any final words, Senator?
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, we're going to do a quick executive session here. I move to go in executive session. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. We're in executive session. We're going to vote on one bill today, so what? Never mind. Strike that. I move that Senate Bill 768 be brought before the committee. Do I have a second? I have a second. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bill is before the committee. This is Senator Rehder's Senate Bill 768. I do have a committee substitute, which has been distributed. It's ending in .04C. The senator spoke to the substitute during the hearing. It requires individuals assessing therapeutic use of psilocybin to Missouri veterans. Are there any questions on that? Senator Mint.
Just a quick comment. I haven't seen the substitute yet, so I think I'm going to play it safe and vote no today and then reconsider when it comes to the floor.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. I now move for the adoption of the committee substitute. I have a second. I have a second. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, all those in favor of adopting the committee substitute say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The substitute is adopted. I now move that Senate Bill 768, as amended by the committee substitute, be voted out. Do pass. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Is there any discussion on that? Seeing none, I should call the roll to vote Senate Bill 768 out of committee. Do pass.
Senators Brown,
Aye.
Moon, Gannon,
Aye.
Koenig, McCreary, Razor, Shore.
By your vote of 6 to 1, the motion carries. I now move that Senate Bill 849 be brought before the committee. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bill is before the committee. I presented this bill 849 2 weeks ago. I have a committee substitute, which has been distributed, ending in .02C. This is the bill creating tax credits for engineering workers and employers. I spoke to the changes during the committee. It allows for a 10% tax credit for all qualified workers instead of only 5%. So that's the only thing we did is we just raised that threshold by 5% for workers who received degrees outside of Missouri. I now move for the adoption of the committee substitute. I have a second. I have a second. Is there any discussion on that? Senator Shore.
Briefly, just want to talk on, I'd missed the hearing. I was in another hearing, so went through the substitute, so I do want to thank you for making some changes. I'm not sure how I'm going to vote. I don't want it to die. So I think what my grandfather was an engineer, came back from World War II, worked as an experimental mechanic for McDonnell Douglas and Boeing, so I know how vital this is, especially when we're on the cusp of another global conflict. So just letting you know, I'm not sure how I'm going to vote today. I'm going to see how everyone else votes, but I do want to see this continue moving, as I think the basis for this bill is very good. I do see some conflicts a little bit with picking and choosing certain industries. I know we have a shortage of physicians right now, so would this be a slippery slope to where we're offering incentives and tax credits for physicians, APRNs, things of that nature? So I'm going to look forward to the discussion and the vote, but again, I just kind of want to put that out there. I know I'm a couple different bills. I'm going to see how we're voting today, but I want them to continue moving.
Thank you, Senator. Any more discussion? Senator Min.
This may help you in your vote, Senator Shore, but I'm generally against tax credits as a whole because I think we could probably do the whole state better if we would lower taxes and give relief to all concerned. So I'll be a no.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of adopting the committee substitute say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The substitute is adopted. I now move that Senate Bill 849, as amended by the committee substitute, be voted out. Do pass. Do I have a second? I have a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, I should call the roll to vote Senate Bill 849 to committee. Do pass.
Senators Brown.
Aye.
Senator Moon. No. Senator Gannon. Aye. Senator Koenig. No. Senator McCreary. Aye. Senator Razor. Aye. Senator Shore.
No. By your vote of 4 to 2, the motion carries.
43.
I'm sorry. By your vote of 4 to 3, the motion carries. I now move that Senate Bill 895 be brought before the committee. Do I have a second? I have a second. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bill is before the committee. I move that Senate Bill 895 be voted out of the committee. Do pass. Do I have a second? I have a second. This is a Senate bill that Senator Trent presented. This bill a couple of weeks ago. This bill modifies provisions relating to landlord-tenant actions, including eviction moratoriums. Is there any discussion on that? Seeing none, Ashley, call the roll to vote Senate Bill 895 out of committee. Do pass.
Senators Brown.
Aye.
Moon. Aye. Gannon. Aye. Koenig.
Aye.
McCreary. No. Razor. No. Shore.
Aye. By your vote of 5-2, motion carries. Unfortunately, because the committee had to cancel for the past couple of weeks, I'm going to go ahead and vote the lighter bill that I just heard today, because this bill was actually noticed up, I think, about 3 weeks ago. And we, due to other things had going on here, we had to cancel those committees. So I'd like to go ahead and bring that bill up, which we heard today. This is not a normal process of this committee, but we're on a time constraint. So I move that Senate Bill 850 be brought before the committee. Do I have a second? I have a second. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bill is before the committee. I move that Senate Bill 850 be voted out of committee. Do pass. Do I have a second? I have a second. Again, I present this bill today that makes it unlawful to sell or distribute unsafe or counterfeit lighters. Any discussion on that? Senator Schroeder.
Briefly, one of the same things that, I voted on this in the past. I do see some issues which were raised today with conflict with the private sector. Should the private sector be issuing these things? I do want to continue this debate. I know we voted for this in the past. More than likely I will be voting on this, but I do want to see some more vetting and thorough debate on some of the topics that were brought up today.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Senator Min.
Just briefly, I must have missed the vote last time because I think that was unanimous 6-0. I think we have 7 in the committee. Not sure why I missed, but I'll be a no today because I believe it's a free market issue, and I think consumers should have the choice.
Thanks, Senator. Any other discussion? Senator McCreary.
Mr. Chair, I just wanted to, I'm going to vote no on this only because I didn't get to hear the testimony, because I'm also hearing important bills in commerce. So I'm going to vote no, not because I'm opposed to the policy as much as I need to talk to my staff and all the witnesses all over again to basically hear the testimony. So
Understandable.
Thanks.
Is there any other discussion? All right, seeing none, Ashley, call the roll to vote Senate Bill 850 out of committee. Do pass.
Senator Brown.
Aye.
Senator Moon. No. Senator Gannon. Senator Koenig.
Pass.
Senator McCreary.
No.
Senator Razor.
Aye.
Senator Schwarr.
Aye.
Senator Koenig.
He passed.
It is 4-2 right now. Okay. So Senator Koenig?
No.
No. By the vote of 4-3.
By your vote. Sorry. By your vote of 4-3, the motion carries. I move to move out of executive session. I have a second. I have a second with no other business coming before the committee. Committee adjourned.